Many of y'all know me. My name is Bryan Chichester. Um, I came to this church when I was just a newborn, and I've attended for the last 18 years. Church growing up wasn't something that was an option. We'd wake up Sunday morning. If you're not happy with going, you have to suck it up and just, push through. Um, I guess that's kind of where like everything started with me for my like faith. And so as I grew up, um, the highlight of the weekend would be church, and like seeing everyone and enjoying the company of all the family that we made here at Grace. Um, but when we moved to Pflugerville, I guess that's kind of like when there was a dent in my faith, and it wasn't something that like as a family we like intended on just like not going every Sunday. It just kind of like happened about it because with the move and everything, we were all like trying to like situate ourselves in a new area and find new people in Pflugerville, which isn't that far, but to us it was totally new. Um, Coming though, like on Sundays, the Sundays that we did, it was kind of like a refresher of home. Like it was almost like we were returning home. And although we didn't go every Sunday, when we or although we didn't go every Sunday, this every Sunday that we did go from when I was little to when I was in third grade when we moved, that really like implemented that I can do a lot of self-growing in my faith. And so I found myself through middle school a lot of the times doing like Bible studies on my own, and having to figure out a lot of things in the Bible on my own just because we wouldn't necessarily come every Sunday. And then when high school hit, I really missed coming to church on Sundays, and so I started working in the nursery with my sister and my mom, and that was a different experience because I never had to really take care of children before, and I mean it just wasn't something that I was used to, and so every Sunday going in there and seeing like all the little ones, it was an opportunity for me to see God in things that I never really thought I could see God in, like changing diapers. Um, when Brad started as our youth leader, I was pretty young in the youth group, and that was all that time when like we wouldn't necessarily come every Sunday. But he did a really great job of revamping the program and just like getting all the kids in the church to participate and show up to youth group and all the outings that he would plan for us. And so a lot of the times we would do weekend retreats out at like Mo Ranch or John Knox, and those were a lot of the times like really where I grew during high school. It was those weekends where we were out in the Texas Hill Country, listening to keynotes, and as a group, we would really grow together as a family, like for that weekend. And so, being the outdoorsman that I am, those weekends were just like the perfect thing for me because you're out like doors, and so you see God in everything around you. I don't think I could be where I am today in my faith if it hasn't been for grace and being here for the last 18 years. And it's being here has really done a good job of setting a solid base for me for when I go to A&M, the best university in the world. Gig 'em. Carl Berkland. And all these years here it's really going to do do me well when, I'm at A&M, and it's really going to help me stay true to my end goal of being a mechanical engineer in the Navy. And I just like to thank everyone at Grace for their impact on my life and really showing me family is more than just who lives in your house.
Hello. For the people who don't know my name, I'm Harlie Gardner. I was asked to say something about what has nurtured my faith at Grace. I will be honest, I freaked out just a little bit. I mean, it's really hard to put into words on how, who, and what has impacted my faith. I will say it wasn't the places that I went that's impacted it the most. It's the people. There are so many people that I can think of that have influenced my life in the most positive way. I'll name down a few, only because there isn't just one. There's Pastor Nancy. She is so loving and is there when you really need her to be. When anyone gets sent to a hospital, Nancy goes to see and help them while they are in a dire state. She does this whenever there is a need for anyone, at any time, in any place. This love and grace she shows kind of rubs off onto me in a form of faith that I would love to spread to everyone that I meet. There's my sister, Christy. She's the person to go to when you need help. She somehow, with her magical powers of Christiness, knows either how to fix it or who to go to fix it. She's so willing to help and get someone else to help when you really need it. And most importantly, she's my big sister. And I love her. She influences me to be helpful in any type of situation. And then there's the youth group leaders. There's people like Brad and Joy, David and Maudie, and Landon and Nolana. They're all there to help make a link between me and God. They drive us places like the Angel House, where we feed the hungry, go to Trinity, where we lead worship for the elderly. Brad and Joy even drive me to church sometimes. David and Maudie always bring a smile to my face by being the most sassy people. And Landon and Nolana are constant jokers, which I can't go a week without a good laugh. Brad and Joy's availability, the Owens' jokes, and the Robin's sassy yet classy attitudes give me confidence to always be myself. Then last, but definitely not least, there's the biggest impact in my life, Cameron. He's been there to catch me when I felt like my faith was being drained away from the bad things in my life. His faith of caring for others makes me want to be there for people when they are in a rough patch. All these and many more that were unsaid are the sunlight to my sprouting faith. Without them, I wouldn't be able to bloom and be as I am now. It took me a really long time to actually come up with all this. It wasn't easy. In the end, I believe it was very worth it. Realizing that these wonderful people make such a big impact on my life made me really grateful. I suggest that you do the same. Take a couple of minutes and really think about this. Finding that certain someone who impacted your faith might make you internally grateful for that person. If I had never met these people, my faith might not have been as strong as it is now. With this, I leave you one of my favorite verses from Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Thank you.
All right. Ah, freaking camera. Okay. Oh my God. Hi. All right. Well, I'm James. I've been at Grace Presbyterian for about 2 years now. I think. I'm not exactly sure. And I think for my portion, I was supposed to talk about one major event, and that helped me nurture my a faith in God, and even though a lot of things helps me out and in minor ways, I feel like one time that he felt really close to God was when I first went to Midwinters during the winter trip last year. At first, I was incredibly skeptical about going on another church trip because, as in the past, I've gone to other church events and not found what I was looking for. However, despite my skepticism, Midwinters blew my expectations out of the water. I remember having a lot of fun with members from our own church and members of other churches as well. Well, and during the keynote speeches, he paid full attention to them, and I actually felt like I got something out of it. The only possible downside to the whole thing was that it was hard to keep that feeling going after the experience, but hey, what can you do? And for a while I had the idea that as far as I know, when it comes to what part of Christianity you're in, all roads lead to Rome. Either way, you're going to heaven. So, and because of that slight mentality, I feel like community is the most important thing when it came to choosing which church I should be a part of. And that's one of the reasons why I love being at Grace Presbyterian Church. Everyone here is incredibly kind and accepting of new ideas and what's on my mind, and generally have fun participating in youth activities and visiting Angel House. The times at Angel House I like because it forces me to get out of my comfort zone to help the needy in a way that doesn't scream, "Look at me!" Which definitely fits my personality. I'm grateful for the church community I have found at Grace and the growth that I have seen in myself.
Hello. As most of you know, I've grown up in this church. I've been coming here for 12 years. I've been here on Easter, the Maundy Thursday services, all those fun outside services in the back, the crazy pool parties at Pastor Nancy's house, and even a featured performer in the annual Christmas pageant. But more importantly, I've met friends and mentors that were meant to last a lifetime. I want to talk about 3 activities today that I think have impacted me the most at this church, and I want to start with youth group. The best and only way to describe youth group is an awesome community where we play games and learn about Jesus in the most exciting way possible. From mission trips to crazy games of Quelf and spoons, youth group is the best way to represent everything that loving Jesus is about. Speaking of thrilling spoons game, I want to thank Brad Chapin, who lays it all on the line when we play these games, and who's been a mentor to me for these last few years. He sacrificed so much of his time and effort to take this youth group to new heights. So on behalf of all the youth, Brad, thank you very much. The second thing I want to talk about is VBS. I think I started VBS when I was in 6th grade, so I never actually got to be in VBS, but I've been a leader all the years I could. Being able to lead these kids is an awesome experience because they think you're just the coolest guy ever. They're like, wow, this guy, he's jumping around, singing and dancing. Wow, I want to be like him. To be able to lead them and teach them about Jesus, it's a special thing. Lastly, I want to talk about going downtown to serve at the Angel House, which is something that I think if you haven't done yet, I would definitely recommend because it's a great experience. I think it's the ultimate don't go to church, be the church. Getting to serve these people, hear their stories, see their smiles, and at the end of the day, you get to eat the leftover food. And let me tell you, they make a mean soup there. Lastly, I want to thank Pastor Nancy for everything she's done for this church. There's never a dull moment in her sermons, and she always has great personal stories to help us connect to the message. And she's truly showed me how to build a relationship with Jesus and the power of love and forgiveness. And I will carry these lessons with me as I continue the journey. It's been one heck of a ride. Thank you very much.